Hi, this is the tutorial for my folio that's using the Cupid's heart paper, and I'm going to give you the measurements as I go along, so you might want a piece of paper so you can jot the measurements down. This does not have any chipboard in it. I do have a walkthrough on my channel, and I'll try and remember to link it down below in the description box. I'm actually remaking the beginning of this video. I originally had made my spine and I wasn't happy with how wide it was, so I went back and I'm going to tape the video a different way of doing it so that your spine is a little bit wider. Originally I had 1/2 inch, now it's 3/4. So if I say something in the video that refers to a 1/2 inch spine or whatever, please know that that's not the case. I went back and changed it to 3/4. So this is a mirror image folio. Like I said, there is a walkthrough, so if you want to take a look at that, there's some bunch of flips and flaps and all sorts of things here. But I'm going to go ahead, and the rest of the video is recorded. I'm just going to redo the cover to make it a little bit easier and so it folds nicer. So you're going to need two of these papers, except for the last one, because we have a left side and a right side, and we're making it with a spine that we're going to attach the pages to. So the measurements that you're going to need are two of them that are 5 3/4 by 7 1/2, two that are 5 3/4 by 8 1/2, and then that spine piece that's 2 1/4 by 7 1/2. Okay, so you might want to jot that down. So what you're going to do, I'm only going to do one side. You're going to do the second side exactly the same, but to save a little bit of time, you're not going to do any scoring on the 5 3/4 by 7 1/2. No scoring on that first one. The second piece here that's listed at 8 1/2, you're going to place the 8 1/2 inches across the top, and you're going to score at 1/2 on each end, like so. While we have our scoreboard ready, let's go ahead and take that 2 1/4 inch piece, score at 3/4, flip it, and score at 3/4. So we have a 3/4 inch width in the middle, and then we're going to attach the pages to these two outer 3/4 inches. So go ahead and get your scissors. Now I am using artisan, so it's really durable once you put the paper on, the pattern paper. I'm going to slightly miter just so that the pages slide on nice and easy. And I'm going to do that to the top and the bottom. Let me get my mat. So let's go ahead and burnish where we scored. So you can see that that's the width of your book. Okay. To prepare the side pages then, let's go ahead and burnish on the 1/2 inch score marks that we made. Again, we're going to lightly miter each corner. And we're going to attach this to the 7 1/2 inch piece. There's two ways you can do this. You can attach this to the outside and just glue this down on the 1/2 inch pieces like so, or you can slide this underneath, and you might have to slightly trim and then put the 1/2 inch pieces to the outside. I'm going to go ahead and just do the outside method just because I've already made my book and this is just a remake, and I probably won't even keep this. I'll probably throw this piece away, the example piece. So I'm going to go ahead. Like I said, the other way to do it is to stick this underneath the 1/2 inch pieces, but you're going to have to lightly trim the edge so that it fits. So let's just go ahead and place our glue on the 1/2 inch. And like I said, this is just a remake on this part, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time, or excuse me, glue and stuff on there. You'll probably take more time and line things up real carefully and all that kind of fun stuff. Okay, and then we're going to put glue on the other side, on that 1/2 inch piece. And burnish. Okay, so you have this. All we're going to do then is we're going to slide that 3/4 inch piece through here, and we're going to glue that to the side, and then we're going to put another one just like this on this side so that you have your book. So I will show you. I'm just going to place glue on the front and the back of that outer 3/4 inch. I'm not going to go all the way to the score. I don't want any glue to come out on that score line and look tacky. And I'm doing it on both sides. And just slide that in almost just out, like right at the score, but not over. Okay, and then you're going to burnish that down. Okay, and then that's what your book will look like. You'll have another one on this side. And you'll notice that this is open because part of what we do in the book is we put an insert here. So the reason why you don't close it is because when you open this, and you have this feature right here that's actually slides into that side pocket. Okay, so again, my reason for redoing this quickly is just because originally I had a 1/2 inch spine and we needed a 3/4 inch spine instead. So the rest of the video will give you the measurements for the flips and flaps, and you're going to want paper to write down those measurements. I will, when the video starts, the one side of my book is already done, so you can see what it looks like, and then I'll give you the measurements and put together the other side. Okay, so again, if you're watching the video and you hear me say 1/2 inch, that's incorrect. I went back and fixed it for you so that it's 3/4, and so it lays much nicer, and you don't have to worry about any smashing the sides together. So now it just comes together perfectly. Okay. All right, so now the rest of the video will continue and give you the measurements for the rest of the construction. I don't do the decorating on camera, but the construction is all ready for you, and then you can decorate it like you like. All right, enjoy. So what's going to happen here is we're just going to do the opposite side. We have 2 pockets here. This lifts up. There's a belly band here, and we're going to put a card that hangs over the side here, a pocket. This will have a cut apart so it holds that little note card or whatever we put up there from flapping open. That insert will keep it shut. This is a pocket, and you can stick things in there. When you open it, we have a frame with acetate, and then that opens and comes out. Okay, and then we're just going to use these full pages for like layouts. Okay, now the one thing with the folio that's hard for me is that there's really no room for decorations as far as 3-dimensional decorations, because there's no hinge. You can't really add a lot of bulk. So let's go ahead and start the process over on this side. So I have the measurements and the number of items you'll need to cut for both sides. So this is going to make the pocket on the cover. So you're going to need 2 of these, and they measure 6 1/4 by 8 1/2. When you see the line with the half, that means with the 6 1/4 inches across the top of the scoreboard, score at 1/2. With the 8 1/2 inches across the top of the scoreboard, score at 1/2 on each end. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to start with my 6 1/4, and I'm going to score at 1/2. And then on the 8 1/2 inch side, let's score at 1/2 on both ends. Okay, so normally I do angle my pockets or my the edges here, but I'm not going to do that on this because it's going to become a pocket and I don't want to see that little angled piece. So I'm looking for my, there it is. So I'm just going to burnish these, and then I will cut out the squares in the corner at an angle, but I'm not going to taper the top. Okay, you can if you want to, but I'm just going to cut out that square where the lines intersected, and I angle them. Okay, so it looks like that. So what we're going to do then is on this side, on the left hand side, we're going to have the opening on the left and the closed part will be on the right. So we want to line this up. We don't want it to go over the score, and you may have to adjust once it's on here. You don't want this to overhang the cover, and so we'll just kind of have to play it by ear. The important part is not to go over your spine piece. So I'm going to go ahead and get some glue, and I'm just going to do the end piece, there it goes, with glue first just to get it lined up. And I'm going to turn this just because it's easier for me to see. Okay. Go ahead and burnish that. And now we're going to tuck these in and glue them down. And I'm going to look to see if I'm going to have to trim, and I am going to have to trim this one a little bit. I didn't have to on the other side. So let's go ahead and glue it down. And give it a good burnish. I want that down as well as I can get it. So this is what I mean by it. Oh, now I don't see it, so I must have done it okay actually. Well, I'll be darned. It looks okay. I can't see the, oh, down here I can. Let me just trim that off. That'll work. Okay, fabulous. So I'm just going to check my edges. I want to make sure they're down really well. And I don't think I like how I want enough glue to keep this all the way down. Well, getting it all over the place. So I can see it lifting just a hair, so that tells me I didn't get glue all the way to the edge. Okay. All right, so now we can put our insert in here because it has an opening on the side. So let's go ahead and do the inserts next. You're going to need two of them that measure 7 3/8 by 9.5, and I went ahead and did 7 3/8 just to make sure that it would slide in nice and neat without getting stuck. All we're going to do for this one is put the 9.5 inches across the top, and we are going to score that at 5. Now it's the short piece we want hanging over. We want the longer piece tucked into the pocket and the shorter piece hang as a flap. So I would put the long piece in here, and then we have what looks like a flap. Okay, now there is a frame that goes on here, so if you want to do that next, let me find, I have it pre-cut, kind of. Okay, here it is. So again, you'll need two, one for each side. This is 5.5 by 6, and on the 5.5 inch side, we're going to go ahead and score it 1/2 on each end, and on the 6 inch side we'll score just once because we want it open at the top like a pocket. Okay, I am going to take out those corners. And I did, I'll just do a real slight taper at the top. So it's at this point that we want to cut out a rectangle so that we can have a window. So I'm going to go ahead and burnish my score marks. Now, with the 1/2 inch pieces folded behind, I want a 3/4 of an inch frame around here. So what I did is I just took my ruler and I made little tick marks at 3/4 of an inch with my pencil so I could go back and erase it. And you also need to get 3/4 from the bottom. So I put about 3 little tick marks. And the side. And then we're going to go back and end up drawing lines to it so that we can cut it correctly. And I want one closer to this. That one I don't think I did right. That one looks... Alright, so then just go through and draw a pencil mark to connect everything. I just do a real light line. Nope, didn't go down far enough. And then we're going to get our blade and cut it out. Got to extend this one a little bit. Okay, so then go ahead and get your blade, and I'm just using this one. There's different kinds, and I'm just going to run my blade on that line. Nope, not a good thing. I cut into my paper. I'll have to cover that with pattern paper. That was dumb. So let's see where I need to release it. Oh, I'm so cranky with myself for doing that. Gotta release it in this corner. And where do I need to release it? Looks like the corners are usually where I didn't go all the way to the edge. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put a piece of tape on here real quick, being as I cut it, just so I don't tear it off by mistake. We're going to put acetate here also. I just want to make sure I get it as close as I can. I will probably be putting something to cover that up. Something with the paper. Come on, get over there. Hopefully that will do the trick. So there's usually a way to hide your mistakes. I will be trying to come up with a great technique to do that here. There, you won't notice it once the paper's on. So what I want you to do is then go ahead and erase your pencil marks. Careful on this piece for me. Okay, we do need to put score tape on the edge of the frame on the underneath side so that the acetate will stick to the paper. Alrighty. My acetate piece, so when you look at the window, it measures about 3 by, mine's about 3 by 3 3/4, is that right? My acetate paper, you just have to make sure that you make it a little bit bigger than the opening so that you can tape it down. I want to keep that white paper on to protect it. So we just want it a little bit bigger than the frame. So make sure my tape's on real good. Take off the backing. It's down so good I can't get the backing off. There we go. And let's just place this down. So there we go. This I'll remove, and I just want this on there to keep it protected for right now. Okay. and I will now glue this to the flap. So let's do a dry run to make sure that it's the right width, and it is. So go ahead and put glue. See if I unclogged it. No. There we go. So I'm putting glue on all three sides. And I like to make sure I get it on the edges so that I don't have any lifting. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and open this just to make sure I don't get it lined up incorrectly. And I don't want to go over my score. And give it a good burnish. Yep, you won't even notice this when I put the pattern paper on, and I'll put something here in the corner probably. So then this just slides in like so. Okay, so we're going to leave this off to the side because we don't want it to get in the way as we're doing the rest of our booklet. Let me throw away my wrappers here, my trash. Okay, next, if I don't put my pen in, it's going to get clogged. So, okay, what do we want to do next? Let's go ahead and do the flap that goes up. Okay, so you're going to need two that are 8 1/4 by 5 3/4, and that gives us we're making a 1/4 of an inch gusset so it doesn't get too tight when we put all of our flaps and pictures and stuff in. So go ahead and place the 8 1/4 inch side across the top, and you're going to score at 1/2 and at 3/4. So there's that 1/2 inch gusset. Okay, go ahead and fold on the score marks and then burnish. And we do want to miter on the 1/2 inch part. Don't go into the 1/4 inch gusset. Okay, so you can see there's be a 1/4 inch gusset. Now when we attach this, we're going to place it on the top, but I want two pockets, and this time these open on this side. I want them to open on the opposite side, and it's easier to put the pockets on now before you put it in your book. So let's go ahead and do the two pockets. So you're going to need a total of 4, 2 for each side, that are 4 3/4 by 4. And let's go ahead and do the scoring. We're going to place the 4 3/4 inches across the top, and that gets 1/2 inch on each side. On the 4 inch side, you just do 1/2 inch on one side. So it's a total of 3 to make a pocket. Next one, do the same thing. 4 3/4 across the top, do a 1/2. Rotate it so the 4 inches is across the top. And then one more. Okay, so let's go ahead and do what we always do with our pockets. We're going to go ahead and cut out that corner at an angle. And I am going to miter the top. to the other one too. And then we're going to do a dry fit because we don't want it to, we can do some adjusting if we have to. We can go back and trim it or rescore it if we need to. I've had to do that several times on other projects. Okay, trim top. I'm trying to kind of go fast just so you can see how fast a project like this can go. I mean, granted, I already have the other side done. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and burnish that one too. Now you could do a decorative punch across the top if you wanted. So now I'm just, with my 1/2 and 1/4 inch piece underneath, I'm just going to lay these down side by side just to make sure that they line up okay. And they do. That's fabulous. Okay, so again, we want it, this is the top. And I'm going to have them glue them on the right hand side so they open on the left. And I'm going to start with my top one, and I'm going to go ahead and put my glue on. Again, I want to make sure that I get it pretty close to the edge so it lays down nice and flat. I mean, I don't want to go crazy so I have glue gushing out everywhere, but I'm going to actually turn this sideways so I can see it better. All the way to the bottom and all the way to the top. Give it a super good burnish. Let's go ahead and lay the other one down. You get bumped right up against each other, no space. Boy, that is perfect. It doesn't always work out that way. Okay. Now, when we open this flap, there is a belly band at the top, so we can put like a card hanging over it. So let's go ahead and do that next. So the belly band, find it, there it is. So you'll want 2 of them at 6 3/4 by 1 1/4, and we'll just put them in on the 6 3/4 inch side, and we're going to score 1/2 on each end so we can attach it there. And then we're going to do one more pocket, and that's going to go down here at the bottom. And so you'll need 6 3/4 by 3 1/2, 2 of those. So let's do our scoring. It's just easier to put all this together as much as possible before you actually put it in your book or attach it to the cover. Where's my, there it is. 6 3/4 across the top. Let's do a 1/2. Rotate it 1 time, do a 1/2. Rotate it 1 time and a 1/2. And the belly band, put the long side across the top, 1/2 and 1/2. Now with the belly band, it's going to go to the top of the page, so I'm only going to miter the top and not the bottom because it doesn't matter on the bottom. Let's do a dry fit here. Tapered side goes to the top. Looks like it fits perfect, so I'm going to go ahead and adhere that. I'm going to, let's see, it goes on the side that does not have the scores. Okay. And let's go ahead and do that pocket, and we're going to put that down here. You become an expert at pocket making when you make these albums. Or folio, I guess I should say. The albums have hinges. Let's do our miter or taper. Take out that square at an angle. Alright, so now we're going to place it. Don't go over the score mark, so you can see that there is a score right here. We don't want to go over that. So we're going to place it up against the score, but not over. Okay. The lighting is really bad, so it's hard for me to see. I could turn, I have more lighting, but my camera does weird things. It's hard to, I mean, I don't know. I'm not a techie person, I have found out. I thought I was somewhat good, but no, compared to all this new stuff that's out, I can't figure out. I got a new computer, and I thought, oh, I'll just, you know, hook up the webcam to that, and it's, even though I have autofocus unselected, it's still autofocusing. It's driving me insane. Okay, so there's that top flap. So we can go ahead and adhere that now. I'm going to turn my book upside down, and I'm going to go ahead and just put glue on the 1/2 inch piece, not the 1/4. That's our gusset. And then open it up and burnish it. Okay, so it does get kind of, this is just the right, you don't want any more thickness than that. So let's go ahead and do the bottom piece. That one we need, what do we need? Oh, a piece that is, so 2 of them, 6 3/4 by 8, and then 2 of them that are 1 1/4 by 5 3/4. This is going to become like a, oh, do they call it a hinge? I don't know if that's what they're going to, I think that's what I want to call it. So let's do our burnishing again. We're almost done already. It's just a matter of decorating. Put the long side, oh no, put the short side, sorry. We're going to go ahead and score this at 1/2 on each end. Or you can just do a 1/2 and then 3/4. Let's just do that. Okay. And then let's take our 8, what was this? Where'd it go? Hold on, I'm trying to find the right sticky note. Oh, I don't want to tell you the wrong. There it is. Where'd it go? That's not it. I know it's 8. I just had it. Huh. Now I don't remember. Oh, what's over here on this side? Huh. 6 3/4 by 8. So put the 8 inches across the top and go to 4. Place the 6 3/4 inches across the top, and you're going to do a half on each end. So if this is 6 3/4, we can go to 6 1/4. This is going to be a folded pocket that we're going to do some cutting here after we want to do some burnishing. Actually, I'll just burnish that middle piece. Okay. So I'm going to cut off these bottom rectangles, and I want to go to the inside of the score so I don't see any bumps. So I'm just going to go, can you see what I mean by the bump? I want to go just on the inside of this. And you can use your trimmer if you want. Now when I get to the score, I'm going to actually angle it like so. You might as well just angle that top 1/2 inch also. Now I'm going to flip it over so it's easier because I'm right-handed. I'm going to cut on the inside of the bump. When I get to the score, I'm going to stop and angle and miter the top. So that's what we have. Now again, you could do a decorative punch if you want to. Let's go ahead and fold in our sides. And we're going to glue this together so it's a pocket. And that worked out. Everything lined up. I always want to do, you know, get in the habit of doing a dry fit so that you can do any trimming if you need to. Put my glue on. Go ahead and close it up. Alright, so now I am going to, I have just a little piece here that's bothering me. Okay, get your book. We want this to flap down, but as of right now there's nothing to attach it to the book, so that's where this comes in. We're going to go ahead and burnish on the score marks. And on both of the 1/2 inch ends, we're going to go ahead and lightly miter. And we're going to glue 1/2 to the pocket and 1/2 to the book. So if my book is going to fold out this way, I need the hinge. It will be at the opposite end of the opening. Okay, let me just make sure I don't screw this up. And yeah, I'm going to turn it around though so it's easier for me to see. Okay, so then we have that 1/4 inch gusset, just like we did on the top flap. And we're going to glue that down. And we're going to go as far to the edge as we can on the left, so we don't go over any of the scores for this spine. And open it up and do your burnishing some more. So then what you'll do is you will slide this in, then this goes up and this comes down. Now we will be, you'll need to put your ribbon down for your closure, then put your pattern paper on. Okay, so I will do a walkthrough with it all decorated just so you can see how I did mine. And fast and easy, people, nice and easy. All right, thank you for watching. If you get one done and you want to share it on the Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations Facebook page, that would be awesome. Thank you so much, and I'll be back soon to show you the finished product.